I'm going to bust out the handlebars, and I am going to bust out the risers. And I'll show you the grips I'm going to use. This is what I'm removing. Okay, so we're going to get on with the handlebars. That is my next project. So we're going to do an unboxing here. I have all these boxes. I haven't opened them yet. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. A lot of people do unboxings. I find it, I guess when you do it, you know, it's kind of like Christmas. So I'm going to bust out the handlebars, and I am going to bust out the risers. And I'll show you the grips I'm going to use. This is what I'm removing. I guess the more difficult part is going to be running these wires. So I have to open up the headlight, unplug them there, pull them out that side, then pull them through here to the control switches here, and then put them back. I don't know what those plugs look like. Hopefully they're not too big. But let's get on with the unboxing and go from there. Let's do that first. I have 9 boxes, and this smaller box here has a bunch of smaller goodies in there. You got hand grips. I even forgot what's in there. There's a tail light. There's some grip levers rather. I got the exhaust gaskets, and this is a kickstand riser, whatever you call it. So let's get on with it. These are the handlebars I'm going to open up first. Here's another bar of goodies. Okay, let's open up the handlebars, see what we're working with here. Those staples, this box is closed with staples. Those staples will get you. Ask me how I know. Oh, these are the handlebars. These are Thrashin Supply low rise handlebars. Let's see what we got. I think I need the razor blade. They are chrome. They have the slots here. Not sure if you can see that. And there. So should be enough room for everything to come out. So those are the bars. Now I have to find the risers. So I ordered a few things from Thrashin, so from 2 Lane Life. So hopefully this is it. These are the risers. Thrashin Supply. You get to see them first. Here we go. Got the nice little decal. Put that over there. And boom, those are the risers. Their packaging is nice. So that's what I'm working with. Let's see. Okay. I will show you the risers. On this one, I guess is on the right. This one's really nice. And that's pretty cool. Not sure if you can see it. It says Made in America. Pretty neat. ARP bolts. So that is the product. Handlebars and risers. So now I am tasked with taking this apart. The first thing I want to do is to open up the headlight to disconnect those cables from in there. And then I'm going to put towels on everything. I'm going to cover the gas tank. I'm going to cover the fender. And then remove the controls. Start taking things apart. And the last thing I'll take apart is the risers. And then run the cables through the new bars. And I'll show you guys a little bit of that to see, so that you all can see if it's easy or difficult. I'll keep you posted on how that goes. So let's get with it. Well, what we have here is a real hornet's nest, a real spider web, a real spaghetti. Yeah, so there's gonna have to be some, let me just give you an idea. So this orange wire here is hooked up in here. What else? Green is in here. And then you have these metal pieces in there that I've never really seen. That's weird. It's kind of, it jumps them all, I guess. I don't know what to make of it, but so this plug here also has wires that goes to each. This plug here, let's see that one. That one goes to the bike. That one goes out and through here, so it doesn't go in the handlebars. But as you can see, these come from the handlebars here, the ones on top, and I'm not even sure if you can see any of that. But they're all mixed up. It's gonna be a job of diligence and patience. It's not gonna be easy, but that's what I have to do to get it done. Up here there's only 2 of them, and obviously none of these plugs would fit through the wire, none of them. So I have to figure out a way to either pull these pins out, and I'm going to do a little research on that. I'm going to either pull the pins out, or I'm going to cut and then have to splice them all back together. I would rather pull the pins out, because like that it's done right. One of the secrets I know is a lot of these wires are kind of, not going to say brittle, but they're hard. So one thing that you can do to make them more pliable is get your heat gun and just heat around, and that'll make them a little bit more pliable. You can straighten them out. And then when you put them back, because the headlight goes in there and there's not a lot of room, is I would do the same thing. As I heat it, and like that I can put the wires where I want them, so that when the headlight goes in, this center area here is empty. So I kind of push them to the sides, to the top, make room for the headlight. There's not a lot of room in there. Headlight bucket. So that's what I'm up against. Like I said, I'm going to do some research, so I will be back. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of help, those of you that need it. So the first thing is to help yourself release the headlight bucket from this brow, whatever you call this piece here. Okay, I'm not so familiar with all these parts on this FXR, so I'll just make up my own names as I go along. The next thing you want to do is there's a clip, and it looks like that, and it goes attached here. Let's see, it goes attached here, and the wire bends. Now this piece here goes in that hole there. Let's see if you can see my finger on the other side. You see it? There. So this piece goes through, so it kind of water seals everything. Okay, so the one on the throttle side was easy to remove. This one here is giving me trouble. Let's see. That one there is giving me trouble. But because I removed the headlight from that brow, whatever you call that thing, you know, I'm able to pull this down and get more wire out of here. So it makes it a lot easier to work in there. What else can I tell you? There's a plug back here, and if you squeeze it at the very top is where the release is. So it's hard to get your fingers in there, but once you squeeze the very top of that plug, pull the actual bucket down, pull the headlight bucket down, and it will disengage from that plug. So that's how I got it to move around, because that wire, you don't want to be pulling on that, and okay, so that's unplugged. So that's where I'm at now. I think I think that those few things will help you get to the next step, but I think it's important to mention those things to make your life easier. Now I'm working on this next piece here to try to release it and get the wires to go through that way. Because right now they're pinched, they're in there tight. So, and then I will figure out the next step. I searched online, there is nothing. There's guys putting handlebars on. Some even put it on the outside. They don't route the wires, the cables through the inside of the bar. And I'm gonna run them inside of the bar. So that's where we're at. Okay, so I have both sets of wires completely released from the inside. They should be able to pull out through here now. It's probably a wire strap. Let's see. No, they'll come out. I just have to pull them. There they go. And you gotta be delicate with these pins. So I had to release the pins from in here. And if you look in there, it's hard to tell. The camera is not focusing really well. There's a little pin, and you push it in with the screwdriver like so. You push it in and you pull at the same time. You pull the wire out. Or in some, I pressed it and I pushed it from the top, and it went like that. There's a little pin in there. I don't think this camera is focusing correctly, but you can't miss it. Now, what I did was I did a video on my phone that I can refer to when I'm putting all of this back. And I went wire by wire showing what plug it was in and what position it was in. So that is how I am going to put it back. It's going to be a mind breaker. It's going to be stressful, but that is what I'm up against. I got a little battle scar there. The wires are released. I will say that some of these, and I'll give you an example, had these wire ties, and what I did was I pressed here with the plier, here with the plier really hard to kind of open it up just enough so that I can pull the wires out rather than cut, because now I'm going to be short. You don't want to be short in there. And I'm hoping that the new bars I'll have enough length where I don't have to splice all those wires. That's what I'm hoping. So we're going to find out once I put the new bars on. That's where I'm at. So next step is remove the bars. Now there are some wires here for those signal lights here, and I'm going to remove those. I don't like those at all. Those are coming off. In the meantime, I'll think about some other signal lights and maybe none at all. So we'll see. Well, unfortunately, I lost audio for this portion of the video, but it's pretty basic. All I did here was pull the wires out through the bars, which you can see here. It's push and pull, and I have a camera in my hand, so it always makes everything a little bit more difficult, but you're pushing the cables through the center right below the risers and pulling on this side, and that's how I accomplished that. You can see here where I'm finishing up. Pulling the wires out wasn't very difficult. These bars are very short, but one thing you don't want to do is pull really hard and pull one of those clips off of the wires, because you will be in a heap of trouble. So just be aware of that. Try the push and pull method and help the wires along. Okay, so I have the risers off, I have the bars off. This is what's left here. As you can see, not much. So my next step is to put the risers on. And I will say, I was looking at the risers, and my opinion is, because if you could see the way these bolts are patterned, these risers only can go one way, which is like that. Does that make sense? With the top bolt has to be further to the right, so there's no way I can put this on this side. So, but that, in my opinion, I would have liked to have that made in America on the outside, because the bike sits like this, but that one doesn't go there, so that's going to be on the inside always. Kind of hidden, if you ask me. So Thrashin Supply, if you're listening, that would have been cool to have that on the outside here, show it off. But the way it is, it's going to be like this. So that is my next step. That's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so let me show you. I tightened that up. I used a breaker bar to put some torque on it. I don't know the torque specs on this. I got red Loctite, and I just tightened the heck out of it. These bars are not completely tightened yet. There you can see pretty significant hole to run the wires through. and the distance that it needs to go is not that far. And then here the wires are going to come down. I guess I don't know how I'm going to run it through there. They're going to show through the center, but I guess that's part of the deal. If in the future I have a fairing, you won't see it. Probably I'm going to check the extension now to see if I need an extension. I'll be able to measure. So let's do that. This is the length, so I'm going to find out if it's going to be long enough, which I suspect it is not. That goes in there, goes there, here, and then down through here. And this, of course, would come in through the right side. Stay there, don't move, don't fall. No, I'm shy a few inches. So I have to lengthen the cables. Bummer. You know, buying or having the wrong wire can be a problem. That might work. And this is copper wire, which is what you want. A lot of wire that comes from other countries is silver. It's not real silver, but this is the best conductor right here. So I would say that's equal. So that's, now I have to do this and probably do it inside my house, sitting down with all my tools so that I can add about that much. I guess that's about 6 inches. And that's what I need to do. So that's going to take me a little bit of time because I have to do both sides. So that is my next step. You can't really mess it up because what I do is I cut the wire mid-length. It's not like I'm cutting the ends. So when you cut it mid-length, if you're doing a blue wire, which all of these wires are color-coded, for example, if I cut this yellow wire, I have red wire, same gauge, 16 gauge, and I just put a piece of red in between, but this is yellow and the end piece is going to be yellow. So when I go to put this back, this is what matters right here, this end piece. All of this doesn't matter. This is what matters to me. So that is how I do it. I knew this was the second largest task of the job. So I will be cutting all of these wires. And the other thing is, so that you don't have this big ball here, what I do is I'm gonna do steps. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the signal light wires 8, 9. I will cut one here, one here, one here, one here, and just keep going up. So yes, it is going to be thicker, but if you cut them all in the same spot, then you're going to have this big ball right here. So the idea is to move up with your cuts. And I'm actually going to move up with this cable so I have more room. This is the boring part of, you know, mechanics, if you will. At least for me, I don't like electric. I don't mind mechanics, but electric itself, I hate. This isn't so bad. I hate troubleshooting electric. That's why you have to do it right. So there I have it. Now what I want to stay away from is this end piece here, because this is what goes into the headlight bucket. So I want to do my connections between here and about where the tape is, right there. And that's how I'll do it. The other reason for having your cuts staggered like this is because there's going to be bare wire here. And now there's no chance that these two are going to connect, even if the wire were to wear through the insulation that I'm going to put. There's less chance of those two touching and creating a short. So another good idea of why you want to cut these like that. So this is my contraption of how I'm going to solder these wires. It's a little bit tedious to get them there, but like that they'll stay nice and still, and I'll be able to heat the wire, heat the solder, and boom, they'll stay together. If you ever tried soldering wire, two pieces of wire, you'll know it's not fun. So there's how it's done. Well, one thing is for sure, they're not going to come apart. They're all properly soldered. It may not be beautiful, but it's gonna do the job. And there you have it. Okay, so where are we at with this? This is now 2 days later. Life gets in the way. So I did all the soldering, everything came out great. I put the heat shrink tubing, and now I bought this loom that I'm gonna put over this, and then I'll tape it, and that'll be what I run through the bars. Now I'm doing the exact same thing to the throttle side. This is the clutch side. I decided against putting the signal lights on the handlebars, so the signal lights are gonna be now on the fork clamps. Now, so because it slides in from here, this is what I'll be pulling. This will want to go that way. So I don't need to really tape it there. If anything, tape it here. I will say it's very secure. Alright, let's show you how easy this is to put these wires through here. So we'll start on this end. You know, these Thrashin Supply handlebars have a very nice slot. Let me show you. And the one under there as well. I didn't run any wire through the handlebar itself. In other words, I did not pull a wire through here to then pull this through. I just slid this in that hole, pushed it through, came out the other side with a screwdriver. I pulled it through. So let me show you how that's done. It's quite simple. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. And now I have to catch it on the other side. Yep, I can already see it here. Try to give you a better angle. I can already see it here coming out. So now I start to fish it through. You can use a screwdriver, you can use a needle nose, you can use various tools, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to use, and start fishing these out. a little bit snug right there. That's part of the deal. So now I have these two. I'm gonna slide through here. Do it like that. I'll cut this loom once it gets inside. So now this slides easily through here. Maybe easily is an overstatement. It goes through there. This one goes through this side. This loom's a little bit shorter. And that's what that's gonna be like. Now, I don't know what the norm here is. If I'm gonna put a strap here and there, I think a strap will make it look ugly. So I'm a little bit unsure of, but I know I'm gonna put a bag here. So I got a little handlebar bag so you can keep some stuff in. But that is it. The wires have gone through. Everything is wired up on both sides. I know this one's gonna have to come a little bit further. And there you have it. Now I just need to button everything up. And of course, put all these plugs back into this. That's my next step. Well, I have a few little problems here. Problem number one is these handlebars are for fly-by-wire. And there's a plug that needs to be put here. I didn't know this, but if you didn't know, fly-by-wire handlebars are shorter on the throttle side than this side. And I'm not sure if you can see. I'm going to try to center the camera. This doesn't help, but I guarantee you that side is shorter. I measured it. So I don't have that plug. There's a plug they sell. They call it a plug, but it's more of a cap. And what it does is it fits in these grooves, notches, whatever you want to call it, and it extends out here. I ordered the part. I ordered two things from the company. I got one item, and the item I was expecting for this bike, I didn't get. The item I wasn't expecting is for another bike, which I don't need right now. So anyway, that's how that works. My other problem is the grips. So another thing is, and I'll show you the grips. These grips here, and for those of you who have a newer Harley know that the clutch side grip, that there fits inside of this here. So I need that plug and these grips here supposedly. Now I'm looking at this right now and it looks like it could fit in there. So I may be wrong. I'm gonna try it. But this clearly says 95 and up. Issues here. The hand grip did not fit here. As you can see, it's closed here. So on this other one here, you can see where it fits inside, as well as on this one. That's inside. So that's problem number one for me. Problem number two is the brake line doesn't reach, but this here, this is upside down, in my opinion. So I can turn this around so that it's going to give me a significant amount that I need. Show you where it's leaving me at. Right there. So I believe with that amount that I need, if I flip that upside down, I should have enough. And if not, then I need to order a brake line. I don't have the grip for this, so I can't proceed there. And what I can do is run these wires, but that's going to be on my next video where I'm going to finish this up. So I got a lot done. The bars are in place. Now I just need to finish everything up. So if you guys want to follow this build, I mean, I'm getting through the hardest, more time consuming parts. The other parts that I'm installing after this should be a lot easier and less time consuming. So after I finish with these bars, I think everything else will come together. There is one item that's going to take me a little time as well, but not quite as long as this, and that is the rear tail light, which I've talked about on various videos. I don't like that tail light. It has the plate light down there. I want to go back to the original, make everything the way it used to be. I don't like that side plate light. So anyway, thanks for being here. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe. I do gear reviews, I do part installations, I love restoring bikes, I like remodeling bikes, doing resto mods, things like that. My passion is touring. That's probably the biggest thing I like of everything, is going on long rides, cross country, across a few states. And we have a few of those planned for this year. So look back at some of my other videos. Anyway, you all take care. Watch out with the crazy people on the roads. And I will catch you on the next one. Adios. And take a look at this video right here.